Thank you once again for all the love and support that I've received throughout this project over the past few years. I have a kind of a challenge at the end of this video, and I'm going to talk about a few other things. But first I wanted to kind of recognize and pause on a few ideas that were found in the comments of the last video that I made. So if you haven't already, the last video that I made was Hiatus update number 1, in which I talked about my relationship with video gaming and what had been going on recently, and how I found that relationship to be unfulfilling, and what I did to kind of change it and become more proactive in the way that I approach the things that I do with this time that I've gained since I went on hiatus. So there was a lot of great comments on that video, and most of them were encouraging and wonderful, but one of them really kind of made me stop in my tracks and look deep into what I'm doing, and caused me to ask those questions that definitely should be asked from time to time. So YouTube user Embercord left this comment on that last video, and I want to read through it with you and stop and kind of interject my commentary on this comment. Regarding my video about video game addiction and overcoming it in my attempt to overcome it, this is the comment. Embercord says, "You have not understood this fully. As someone with an eating disorder, body dysmorphia, and a history of gaming addiction, I can, without a doubt, say that addiction is only a symptom. If you develop addictive behavior, then you have a need for this. Your addiction is compensating for something. Your thought process with willpower," this is again referring to the comments I made in that video a few weeks ago, "your thought process with the willpower is not entirely wrong, but it's the wrong time to implement it. Because in that mindset, your addiction is the foe that you need to defeat it with power and with strength. You're already setting yourself up for failure with this, because if you fall back into this addiction habit, it will mean that, according to your own criteria, you were not strong enough and your willpower was not sufficient, even though that is the reason." So Embercord here says a few things that I think are really good. Number one, I agree with this idea that most addictive behavior is an attempt to fulfill a need that's being currently unmet. So there's a video game-sized hole somewhere in Travis, and I don't know how to fill it, and so I fill it in with video games and Netflix and things like that, is the theory. And this warning here that if I proclaim through sheer force of will that I can overcome addiction and that others can do too, the fallacy there is that when, not if, but when failure comes, I get a moment of weakness and buy a new Xbox or download a game on my PC or whatever, or my phone. At that moment, because I've put so much focus, so much is riding on the idea of willpower and ego being strong, because so much is riding there. The minute that I have a false step, it will all come crushing down. And the thing that will crush is me, because I've built that all around me being a strong person. This is the warning for Embercord. Continuing on, this might even work for you, because you are essentially replacing your addiction with another addiction, work. The only difference is that one addiction is praised while the other addiction is frowned upon, but your mental health doesn't care too much about this. If you make yourself addicted to your craft, your ego will be satisfied because you're doing something, and yet actually you are not. Okay, I'll pause there. I really respect this idea that I'm not actually curing my addiction and through willpower, I'm stopping it. I agree, like that's not what's happening. I am redirecting, right? Redirecting my compulsive, obsessive behavior. And I'm not like the light switch kind of OCD kind of person. I'm the person that when I get triggered, when I trip on something, this is not the right, when I spin out on an idea or a concept, it's all I think about, it's all I read about, it's all I watch YouTube videos about, it's all I want to talk to other people about. And yeah, in the past few months I've been going from concept to concept and discussing. Those people who are close to me will know exactly what I'm talking about. There are some big issues to me personally that I've just been really circling around for the past few months, and I think that taking myself away from the distraction, this type of obsessive activity that is complete distraction, like video games, enables me to kind of focus in on things that I feel are more worth my time and more worth my obsessive attention. Towards the end, Ember Cord says that if you make yourself addicted to your craft, your ego is satisfied because you're, air quotes, doing something you feel productive. And I do not believe that movement equates effectiveness, but I understand what you're saying. And the accusation, yet I'm actually not. So let's continue on. Addiction always means compensation. If you force yourself out of an addiction, which is sometimes needed, then it will take on another form. The addiction will take on another form, unless you take that opportunity to find out what you're trying to compensate for. So true. Only a fractional amount of humans have the power to force change by willpower, and that's backed by research. The rest of us have to facilitate it. From what I've seen so far, the behavior you are showing, this is speaking to me directly through my videos and through other things Ember Cord may have seen, you're incredibly driven by imposter syndrome and projecting ideas of the version of yourself that you link with a form of happiness. Okay, I'm going to stop there too. There's a lot there. Okay. The idea of addiction as compensation, I completely agree. Like I said, there was a video game sized hole, and that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of saying that, like, I recognize that I am currently an incomplete person. I don't think that I have every answer. I know that I'm constantly searching and questioning, and I spin out on a lot of different things, and those things tend to be the things that I'm obsessive about. I don't know that there can be that piece that just makes me whole. And in fact, if it is out there, I don't know that it would be a good thing to have. Who would want to be a complete person? Have you heard the phrase satisfaction is the death of desire? I want to be driven. Like I enjoy trying and struggling, and I enjoy attempting new things and attempting old things and trying to become better. And failure is a big part of that. And I don't think that a complete person strives. That's a different topic. But here's what I wanted to focus in on then. Toward the end, the accusation, you are incredibly driven by imposter syndrome. Yeah. Yes. And we've talked about that a lot, especially on my podcast. I did a whole episode on imposter syndrome. In fact, I spoke to the lady, her name is Rose. I forget her whole name, but she is the psychologist who in the 70s coined the term imposter phenomenon, because it's not actually a syndrome. But yeah, I deal with imposter syndrome quite a lot, and I know that. But there's this other accusation here of projecting ideas of a version of yourself that you link with a form of happiness. And I think we all kind of do that, right? I mean, so two thoughts here. First thing, I freely acknowledge that I don't come onto YouTube and unload my frequent existential crises on you guys. That's not what you're here for. That's not even what I'm here for. I do go through them. I know darkness very well, but that doesn't mean that I'm completely dark. And in fact, I prefer to bring the part of me that is uplifting and humorous and lighthearted to the people to you guys, to the people who I care about. The second part is that I don't think that I project anything other than what I think is real. I don't I don't force happiness and this kind of like, I'm Travis kind of attitude. I would like to think that the Travis that I project onto this channel is nothing short of authentic. And that doesn't mean it's the complete picture, but the moments and the vignettes of my personality that you do see, I believe are completely honest. Let's continue on. Ember Cord says, but this, talking about my imposter syndrome and the projection of happiness, but this is not where contempt comes from. Bear in mind that I'm not trying to attack you or shame you or anything like that, and I don't think that you are, but I think that you are doing the same thing again. So your thought process might be something like this. No, I am stronger than this. I can overcome this. I have willpower. Therefore, I am a strong person that can defeat this addiction. I am gonna be the person that overcame addiction through willpower. I will be the person that will put the amount of time into the addiction into work. I will love this because I don't have to feel bad about not working. And then closing, Ember Cord says, I don't expect an answer. I don't expect this will change anything. But if you will see this and a part of yourself might understand it and react accordingly, good luck. I really appreciate the time and thought that you put into this. I know that like you can read a YouTube comment, even a long one, in like a minute or two, but the time it takes to craft and to think this stuff out, it doesn't come that fast. And so I appreciate your effort, and it makes me feel that you care, and that's nice. I mean, not many people have strangers that care so deeply about them, and then I feel very strongly about that, and about the sentiment that I feel conveyed in this comment, and many others too. I mean, this is not the only comment that kind of said these types of things, but it is the most comprehensive version of those comments. So I just want to end this discussion about addiction by saying a few things. Number one, I'm not even sure that the level of obsessiveness that I experienced is considered addiction. I mean, I wasn't, turning tricks on the corner to pay for a video game, or even lying to anybody, or hiding anything. And that's not what qualifies somebody as an addictive person. I understand that, but it was only disruptive in my life in as much as it was blocking me from becoming the person that I enjoy being and striving to become. Since I've stopped, and it's been since I made that video, I think 4 to 6 weeks since I made that video, and it has taken me that long because I just, when I made that video, I had sold my Xbox just a day or two previous, I think. It's all cloudy now, but it has taken me this long up until this point to gear up again. I feel currently like like I'm there. This is where I want to be. This is how I want to feel. I've been doing certain activities since I've sold my Xbox. I've been sketching and painting a lot more, and I've been working on learning After Effects, which is something I've always been wanting to do, but never felt like I found the time. But now that I have cut out video games, I have my time back. And I've also been doing a lot of music, producing beats and also playing guitar and just singing and enjoying myself. And the thing that I love about these activities is that I'm not making something and then publishing it to the world to get that kind of like how Embercord referred to it as like, fulfilling this this need for acceptance and praise. We talked recently on my podcast that I have one of my top, like the top love language that I have. This is love language is the way that you express and would like to feel appreciation and love from others. The top way that I do that is by words of affirmation. So the people who are close to me, my wife and friends, family, they will know that the way that I express my love to them is to compliment and to share verbal affirmation and affection, and this is when I have like a really nice comment on YouTube or somebody sends me a nice email, I won't lie, it lights me up. Like there's a big shot of dopamine just surging right through when I read nice things about myself. But the things that I've been doing lately, I've not been sharing. They've just been mine, and I've been holding them very close. And this has awakened in me such a thrill of feeling creative, artistic even. And that is something that I've not felt in a very long time. And I'm just so excited that it's back. Like it's been a long winding road, this hiatus, but I feel like I'm going where I wanted to be going when I needed to take that hiatus. So that's the update. I want to give another channel update, and this is kind of like a challenge I mentioned earlier in the video. So I am ready to kind of do an inventory on DevTips and find out, look deep inside of myself really, and look deep inside of what has been going on for the past while, and decide what I want it to be. And I think that I would like to invite you, dear watcher, dear DevTipster, if you feel like you would like a part of DevTips, if you would like to be a host of the show, even, I want to send you a challenge. Make a tutorial, make a video that you think would be appropriate for DevTips, that matches the tone, the voice, the character, the content type of what DevTips has grown to be, and send me a link. And I'll be critical, and I'll be discerning. But if there's like really somebody out there who can do DevTips, I think there's a real possibility I would hand this channel over, work something out. So that's the challenge. Like I'm ready to move on, not away, but to not away, not forever, but to evolve. Yeah, let's say evolve. I'm ready to evolve. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded with incredible people who care about me and who write long thought out comments like this. And I hope that we continue to have these types of conversations that will increase my ability to fulfill my greatest measure of happiness. And that's all I got for you. Take care. Keep on hacking. Good night.